what up? What up? What's going on, folks? Another episode of Ryan Reviews Everything, and we're talking about the movie The Blackening. And yeah, you know what? I want to start with love. I really thought it was a dope idea to have like this comedy / horror movie with an all-black cast. Plenty of the actors and actresses in this movie is very familiar. You have Antoinette Robinson from Dear White People. You got Grace Byers from Empire and more recently Harlem. Melvin Gregg, which I know him mainly from Snowfall and I think is 9 Perfect Strangers. So a lot of familiar. Oh, and Jermaine Fowler, which in my opinion was one of the highlights of this movie. So for those who aren't familiar, The Blackening is about a group of friends who have this reunion in the cabin in the woods, and they go over just a bunch of stereotypical horror movie stuff that black people normally don't do. So cabin in the woods. At one point, there might be a few spoilers, nothing too crazy. At one point, once danger is here, there's conversation about splitting up, all types of stuff. So it really feeds into a lot of the horror movie stereotypes. And out of these group of friends, one of the main premises throughout the movie is they gotta play a game, kind of like Saw, and the game is centered around black questions. And if you get them wrong, that's when you're at risk of getting killed or dying. This, that, and the third. Like I said, I want to start with love. My wife and I, we went ahead and went to the theater to see it. We didn't bootleg it or try to get some type of under the table hookup. Wanted to support such a black movie. It's directed by Tim Story, whose resume is a mile long with notable films like How to Think Like a Man 1 and 2. Taxi, Ride Along. His list is long, so he is, he definitely knows how to direct. So, but personally, I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like it was missing something. I felt like some of the jokes tried too hard or was leaning a little too hard on some of the black stereotype stuff. Like, I don't know, for example, one of the main reoccurring questions throughout the game, and I think it happened several times, was like, who's the blackest person in the group? The blackest person needs to die. And it's just like, so now there's arguments amongst a group of friends about, I can't be the blackest person in the group. My dad's white. I can't be the blackest person in the group. My wife is white. It's just all these arguments about the excuses of who's the blackest in the room and why they need to die. There's even some good hint of like colorism jokes in there here and there. And like I said, of course, this is a movie you're not supposed to take serious. Don't get me wrong. And I did laugh at some of the parts in the movie. It's not like I was stone faced throughout the whole thing, but I just felt like some of the jokes tried too hard to be funny. I don't know if it was because a good chunk of the cast were either aren't comedians or aren't known for like comedy. Like, for example, like I said, Melvin Gregg, I know him from Snowfall, aka Man Boy, and 9 Perfect Strangers. But he's in this comedy, trying to deliver punchlines here and there. Same thing with Sinquar Walls. Yeah, yes, he was just in the reboot of White Man Can't Jump. Wasn't the best reboot, and other than that, he was in Power. So I really feel like some of the jokes possibly missed them, at least in my opinion. Once again, I'm glad I supported the movie. Just saying, overall, I don't think it was for me necessarily, and I feel like it's because they were just leaning into some of the black stereotype jokes for this all-black cast movie. And I think the other problem is the bulk of the cast aren't really known for comedy like that. Yes, Grace Byers, who is known for Harlem, not the funniest person in the Harlem series necessarily. And I know sometimes a comparison, you know, maybe in bad taste in some examples, in some instances. So, but for example, like, and I might be wrong. I came into the movie with the mindset of like, perhaps I'm getting like, you know, some type of scary movie vibe. You know, I'm talking about the scary movie that was written by the Wayans brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming in thinking it's going to be, you know, some over the top comedy. It's going to be some slapstick, kind of move a little at a faster pace. And I may have came in with the wrong mindset, but I really just felt like, you know, but you know, that's what I'm saying. But in that example, in Scary Movie, majority of the cast were either, you know, were they have a comedy background. If you go back and look at the people in the Scary Movie franchises, from Regina Hall, Tim Cross, Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, you know, there's like a, you know, what's my man name? Not Sean Elliott. He was in How to Get Away. He was in Something About Mary. I want to say his name is Elliott something. But my point is, the majority of that cast has some type of comedy background in some form or fashion, whether it's, you know, writing comedy, whether it's stand-up comedy. There was some type of comedy background there. You know, when you look at this cast, the bulk of the the bulk of the actors don't have a comedy background, and I feel like that's why it didn't work for me. You know, once again, it didn't really work for me. So hopefully, just because it didn't work for me, hopefully it's not going to discourage anybody from seeing it. Once again, I do applaud, you know, the mindset and the idea of, you know, of an all black cast trying to come together and do something a little different. And, you know, and I'm not saying I would shut the door on an all black cast, you know, trying this again. I just feel like if you possibly tweak some of the cast a little bit, maybe it works for me. And who knows, I might be, you know, alone on an island by myself with my opinion. So that's it. Love it or hate it. That's my review. Peace.